Hey everyone, I hope you're well. I hope you're enjoying your week and you've had a wonderful day today. I have been travelling this week, but I travelled back today and I landed literally a couple of hours ago. So I've had my dinner, everything's, to be fair, my wonderful husband has put my washing in the washing machine for me. So I am able to play and do some crafty stuff with you, and I hope you're having a good week too. Um, Just before we kick off, there are some cool online exclusives that have launched today for all customers. Certainly check them out. Today is the deadline for the Christmas in July extravaganza. So if you are still thinking about that, make sure you get in touch and make sure you secure your spot. I'm going to send an email out after this Facebook Live, just reminding everybody of the cutoff. Do you know what? I could stretch the cutoff to tomorrow, so we can take it an extra day. Hey, Stacey. And yeah, I think that's all that I've got for you just now. So I am going to share with you some projects that I did at a recent class. And so let's just jump straight to the crafting. All right. So these are the cards that I'm going to show you. These were cards that we did at a recent private class for two lovely friends of mine, or one lovely friend and her lovely friend, who is now a lovely friend of mine too. And these cards are done using the Labelled with Love set. So this is the stamp set. It's a photopolymer stamp set. There's 14 different stamps in it, and it uses the two-step stamping technique. Hey Shona, glad you're here. This particular set is quite interesting because it has a matching punch, which punches out this shape here, but it also has matching framelets. So you can get a bundle. You know that when you buy items as bundles, you get a discount. You can buy the Labelled with Love stamp set with the dies, if that's your preference, or you can get it with the punch. And there's advantages to using punches or dies. If you don't have a die cutting machine, don't get the dies because you'll need the punch. But the punch will only go so far into a card. So if you're wanting to cut out an aperture in the centre of a card or the centre of a page, you're better off with the framelets. So there's benefits to both. But the stamp set is the star, and I'm going to be using it with the punch today to show you these cards. So the other thing which I'm using with them is the note cards and envelopes, which are really simple to use if you just want something quick and easy. Pick up a pack of notelets with the envelopes and this stamp set, and I'm going to show you how to make these clean and simple, clean and easy cards. So I'm going to start off with one of our notelets, folding it over, just using a bone folder to crease that down nicely. And the easiest way I find to start this this card for these designs is to start off with my frame, which I'm just going to put on a block. And the colour that I'm using for the frame is Early Espresso. Hey Linda, glad you're here. I wanted to have a neutral colour, and I decided to go for the brown rather than the black because sometimes black can be a bit harsh. When I said that at the class, the lady who was new to me said, oh yeah, it's like how sometimes you'll wear brown mascara rather than black mascara. I was like, yes, that is exactly it. So just to make it less harsh. So I have just stamped the frame. I'm going to hold it up so you can see it properly because I've got this like double outline to it that's really quite cool. It's a bit Art Deco, I think. So I'm going to do the frame in the centre of the card. And for the first card that I'm making, I'm going to use the butterflies, and I'm going to do a two-step stamping technique because the butterfly has both the base and the outline. Hey Debbie! I love it that you're all chatting and saying hello to each other. That's really nice. So I have put my butterfly stamp on my block, and I'm going to be using the Calypso Coral here. And what I'm going to do, ink this up. Just going to test it, make sure I haven't got any little bits. When you've got a solid shape, it's a good idea to test it and maybe just even clean it before you start, because if you've got any tiny little bits of dust or dirt stuck to the stamp, they're gonna stop you from getting a really nice crisp image. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my solid Calypso Coral butterfly, and then without re-inking, I'm going to stamp again, just overlapping there. Do you know what? It's not Calypso Coral I used last time. I used Flirty Flamingo last time. Do you know what? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going with this one at least. But you can see that by stamping and then stamping again, I've got the solid and then a slightly paler one here. So, right, I'm going to do the same again at the bottom. Now I'm going to stamp again, overlapping on my frame, and then I'm going to do the second one without re-inking underneath. So now I've got the full colour, the pale, the full colour, and the pale. Ooh, that sounds like you've got a really good bargain there, Stacey. Lots of goodies to get you started and get you going. That's really exciting. Hey Julie, glad you're here. Once you've done your solid butterfly, next I'm going to take the patterned butterfly and do that over the top. Now you can do it with different coloured ink pads if you want, but because I'm showing how you can do things nice, quick and easy, I'm using the same shade, but I'm only going to go over the top of the paler of my two butterflies. Do it about there. There we go. The photopolymer stamps are really good. You can see through them. It helps you line this up. But I would encourage you, if you are doing it, don't stress too much about them being perfect. When have you ever seen a perfect butterfly's wing? They're all unique and they're all beautiful. Okay. So that's my two-step stamping butterflies that I have done. And then next, I'm going to do a sentiment in the center of my frame. And I'm going to do that in the same colour as I've used throughout. And these ones are all going to be happy birthday cards. I'm about to stamp the middle bit. Stacey, I'm going to use the happy birthday stamp. I'm going to use my Calypso Coral. And I'm going to stamp a nice cheery happy birthday in the center. So that is a single layer card. So everything is just stamped on the one layer. There's no fancy cutting or fancy, it's just stamps. One ink pad, well, two ink pads, so the brown and then your color and that stamp set to get a really easy, simple happy birthday card. So that's the first one. The second one, we're going to do it slightly similar, but stepped up a bit. So we're going to take it up a gear. So let me again start with a notelet. Hey Karen. Hey, we've got a full house here tonight. I know some of you lovely ladies are in my team. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you at the weekend for our team day. I know some of you are coming, some of you can't make it. So those who can't will be very missed. But those who are coming, yay, it's going to be fun. Can't wait. Right. Let me put that back. And then, of course, the next big event is going to be Christmas in July, which I'm very much looking forward to. It's going to be very exciting. So, as before, see, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to start off with the frame in the centre of the card. So I'm going to do this exactly the same as I did before with my early espresso. You might see here, I'm using my grid paper and just lining up the card so it's in the center, so I can find the center mark, because then that helps me position this frame a bit more centrally. So let's have that frame stamped. Now for this one, instead of doing butterflies, I'm going to do the parcels. So this stamp set has got butterflies, parcels, flowers, and then the sentiments. It's a really, really good varied stamp set. And it means that you can do lots of different cards for lots of different occasions. And yes, I'm doing this one as a birthday card, but with the parcels, you could just as easily do this as a Christmas card or an anniversary card, or for any other occasion that you so desired. So I've got my parcel, and I'm going to do the same as I did last time. So I'm going to have a solid parcel in the corner, and then without re-inking, I'm going to do a second one underneath. So I've got the darker shade, this is Lost Lagoon, and then the paler shade. And then I'm going to stamp again down in the bottom corner, and then again without re-inking to get the paler shade. It is still for the full day, Stacey. I'll send you the link. I know that you need to pay on the 12th rather than the 10th, but that's fine. If you can get that payment made, then we can get your place secured. I'm looking forward for you coming. Right, as I said, this stamp set is a two-step stamping one. So I have done the parcel part, and then the two-step bit are these little almost like confetti dotty type bits that go over the parcel. And so I'm just going to do them on the top in the solid colour. And you're thinking, well, so far, so what, Emma? This is very similar to the butterfly. This is where I'm going to start to do things a little bit differently though. So let's just clean off my stamp. Now, when I did the first card, one of the ladies who was crafting with me, it really, really frustrated her that the butterfly's wing went over the outline of the card. So she much preferred the second card, which looks like this. And the way that we did this is by stamping and then punching out the sentiments separately. So I'm going to take just a spare piece of basic white. Oh, have I frozen for everyone? I hope I haven't, Debbie. I'm going to keep talking and keep crafting in the hope that it returns. On my screen, it does seem to show that it's working, but if it's not, let me know. Let's do the frame. And then I'm going to do my happy birthday. And ink that up in the centre. I do love Lost Lagoon. It's a really gorgeous shade. It's all right with you, Shona. Okay. And it's all right with Mark. Thank you very much, Mark. Mark is a very dear friend and my resident IT expert. So if anything had been frozen, he would have been my knight in shining armour coming to my rescue. Because my husband is very involved in computer games at the moment and would not be coming to anybody's rescue. Right, so I've stamped the frame, I've stamped my happy birthday sentiment in the centre, and I'm going to use the punch. I'm going to use the punch upside down so that I can see where it's going. I just line it all up like so, and then squeeze the punch, and as if by magic, I have my cutout sentiment. But then I'm going to make it a little bit more interesting and tie a bit of twine round here. Now, we're not tying bows because bows are fiddly and annoying. So we're just tying a knot. And what I'm doing here is just putting it across so I know roughly where I want it to be. I want it to be this left-hand side of the sentiment. And then on the other side, I am going to get a foam dimensional, which I am going to stick that piece of linen thread down with. Okay, so my linen thread is now stuck down with my foam pad, which means I can now turn it over and I can tie my knot. I don't have to worry about the whole thing falling off or falling apart because it's stuck in place. So let's do it as a double knot so that it doesn't unravel. So I've knotted once, knotted twice, and then, as I say, I am just having loose ends here. We're not worrying about tying bows because that's far too fiddly and life is far too short. So let's trim that off like so. I do like linen thread. It's a good way just to give a nice touch to any project, and because it's that lovely neutral linen shade, it matches absolutely everything. Right, let's stick some more foam pads on the back here. Glad it's working for you again, Debbie. Fab. And then let's stick that over the top. So now I have my happy birthday sentiment on my notelet. And then, because I wanted to jazz this one up and make it a bit more interesting, I'm going to use these. These are the loose frosted dots. These are an online exclusive. And I'm just going to, they're loose, they're not adhesive. So I need to add the adhesive onto my card. I'm going to use my trusty Tombow. I'm just going to put a little dot there, little dot there, and then a dot down there. Now, when it comes to sticking on these adhesive dots, I find the easiest way to pick them up and place them is using the putty tip of your Take a Pick tool. And I'm going to put, and because the putty will pick it up, but then I'm going to use the scissors to help release it. We'll put a large one there. We'll put a medium one over there. And then teeny tiny toty one down there. There we go. Right. And so then that is our second card. What do you think? Do you like that one? Do you like it better than the butterflies, or do you prefer the butterflies? You can tell me what you think. Next, though, I am going to show you the third card. So that's this one here. And this is the more stepped up version. So I'm going to start with a notelet once again. Fold it over. And this one, but for the first two, I started off by doing the frame. But for this one, I want to have a background first. So I'm going to take this stamp here. So this is the one that looks like lots of little parcels. And I'm using the Soft Sea Foam, which is a lovely pale green shade. It's not a mint green. It's well, it's a sea green, I suppose. And I'm going to stamp my background on the top and bottom panels, the top and bottom strips really of this card. Now, don't ask me why, but when you stamp slightly off the top, so you can see some of these images are kind of cutting off the edge, it just looks better. It looks more finished. It's one of the mistakes that I used to make when I was card making, is that everything would fit on the card and it just doesn't look right. So when you're stamping a background, make sure that some of your stamped images just go off the edges at the top, the bottom, at the side. I know I said I was only going to do the top and the bottom and not the middle, but it does look pretty much like I've done everywhere here, doesn't it? Let's see. Right. So I have stamped a background all over. You like the butterfly one, but you also like the colour. Yeah, you see, you could do, if you got this set, you could do it in whatever colours you choose. Nothing wrong with a blue butterfly. All right. I'm going to use this paper. So this is the Hello Irresistible papers, which are also an online exclusive. And I need, see if I can remember how much I cut. It's a 2-inch strip. So I'm going to cut 2 inches, and then my notelet, I believe, is 5 inches long. It is. So let's just cut this to 5 inches. There we go. Now, before I stick this down, I want to make it more interesting. So we're going back to my linen twine again. All right. And what I want to do here is I want to wrap my twine once, twice, 3 times a lady. Now, when you're wrapping it round, I want to be careful because you can see there how the paper wants to bend. If you do it too tight, your paper is going to bend, and that's not what you're looking for, okay? So make sure that you've got it fairly loose. Got a little bit at one end, a little bit at the other end. And then the way that I find is easiest to do this is once you've wrapped it once, twice, 3 times, and you've got your tails on either side, turn it over, tuck one of the tails up, use some tape. So I've got some tear tape here, which is really good because it just tears, and stick it down at one side. Don't worry too much about positioning, okay? And if it starts to pull up with the paper again, don't worry too much about that just now. Just stick down one side, okay? And then on the other side, this is where you're going to separate them out, move them around, position them the way you want it to be. I want that to be slightly further down like that. And then that one's going to come across like that. It's not too tight so that the paper is not buckling or twisting. Once you've got it right, turn it over and stick the tear tape down on the second side. So that having put one side of tear tape down first, it will hold things in place, but then you've still got that freedom to move it and manipulate it and get it where you want it to be by putting the second piece of tear tape down second. All right, I'm just going to trim off these loose ends on the back because there's no point in them being there. And I'm going to stick this to the center. You sang the song as well. Oh, I think this tombow is just about done. Am I the only one who's determined to get every last bit out of their tombow? I have another tube here. Let's just, whoa, yes. That is definitely far more full than the last one was. I'm going to take off the backing of my tear tape as well. It's there, might as well use it, put it to work. And I do like using the pokey tool end of the take a pick tool to help get those backings off. So, right, I'm going to put this along the center of my card, like so. And then when you've got something you've stuck down that's got embellishments on it like that, if you turn it over and rub it from the other side, and that way you don't run the risk of pulling, snagging, twisting or tearing your twine or any of the other pieces that you've put on. Okay. Next thing I want is the sentiment. So let's again get my frame. Where's my early espresso? Stamp that along there. And then I've still got these little parcels because what I want to do is decorate my frame even more. So I'm just going to do the parcels, one in each corner, like so, just to give it a little bit of interest there. And then finally, I need my sentiment. So let's do again my happy birthday. There we go. All right, same as before with the punch. Turn it upside down so that you can line it up and see where you're going. Hold it in place, pop it out, and there I've got my sentiment. And then using my foam pads on the back. It's weird, the sentiment's kind of too big for 2 dimensionals, but 3 almost seems a little crowded. I think it's probably best to put on too many than too few, because you don't want things falling off by accident. And then again, I'm going to go to my loose frosted dots. There's my Tombow. And for these ones, so again, just with my glue, put little dots of glue where I want it. And then use my take a pick tool to just put these frosted dots into place. There we go. Done. And there we go. That's this final card. So if I show you then all 3 of them. So we had the single layer butterfly card. Then we had our happy birthday parcels card. And then we had our happy birthday parcels with the green. So let me know which is your favourite. Did you like the Calypso Coral butterflies? Did you like the Lost Lagoon parcels? Or did you like the soft sea foam parcels? Which was your favourite? There was one other card, which I'm not going to do just now, but I'm just going to show you because it's the final piece in that stamp set. So as I say, this stamp set's got the butterflies, the parcels, but it's also got these flowers. So you can do this lovely 2-step stamping flower as well. And just to show you that the sentiments, the stamp, the frame can be used portrait as well as landscape. And of course your other sentiments, you are loved, enjoy today, just for you, thanks friend, and a to from, so it's a really, really versatile set for doing tags. So you love them all. Lost Lagoon is getting some of the votes. It is a gorgeous colour, it really is. Okay, so that's what I had for you this evening. I hope you have enjoyed it. I am looking forward to seeing those of you this weekend at the Starlet's Team Day. For those who are coming, it's going to be a good one. I've got some interesting ideas. Plus, you'll get to see the swaps that I had from the Leaders event. For those who aren't coming to that, but who are coming to the Christmas in July, so that's not this weekend, but next weekend. Oh, let me flip this round so you can see me. Yes, Christmas in July is happening on the 20th. Very excited for all of that. There is still some time to secure your place if you haven't yet signed up. Yeah, so that's everything that I've got for you tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it and have a fabulous rest of the week. Take care, everyone. Bye.